What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Thogmartin, and I am joined today by my friend Robbie Pape, and Robbie is with ICCFA, and we are going to be talking about all things ICCFA Convention 2024 in Tampa, Florida, which I am excited about. Some sunshine. So, Robbie, give us a quick introduction to you, what you do at ICCFA. If there's some quirky fun fact you want anybody to know, let us have
Oh
it.
my gosh. Hey y'all. Thanks, Ryan. My name is Robbie Pape, and I'm ICCFA president for 23-24. So I'll be giving up my crown, if you will, in Tampa, and Lee Longino will be incoming president. So I have been involved with ICCFA for 25 years. I've been in the industry for 32 years. I'm not a licensed funeral director. I'm honored to serve those who serve our families. A fun fact is I moved every 2 years of my life, as my dad was an Air Force colonel. That's probably pretty well known. And I have a lovely daughter who is at the University of Cincinnati singing classical opera. And
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
quitting my day job to sing opera. She did not get it from me at all. And she did not go to my alma mater, which, if you know me well enough, you know I went to Baylor University. But I'm just thrilled that she's thriving in Cincinnati. And I'm back to ICC if I'm honored to serve as president. And we do have that convention coming up in Tampa. And it was one of our highest attended conventions back in 2013. We had just under 1,100 attendees. So that's our goal for this year. We have a lot of local folks planning to come. And one of the great things we have about this year's convention is on Saturday, we have a $75 day pass that gets you almost, I think it's 5 credits towards your funeral director license, your ongoing activity curriculum that you need to have. So that one day is a great idea for anybody in Florida who wants to come. Anybody can use the $75 just to come that one day. We'd love to see you for the whole convention as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come hang out.
Yes.
I mean, from a supplier standpoint, obviously we look for connection, the ability to be able to gather, see customers, see prospects. Like ICCFA is one of the few times a year where we have a huge collective audience where we can come and engage. So I want to backtrack for a second. I'm just curious if you moved every 2 years of your life growing up, what was your favorite place that you lived?
It was an easy one. It was my parents' least favorite place. We lived in Papillion, Nebraska. And the reason I loved it, because they had all 4 seasons. And we had
Okay.
a house in a lovely master plan neighborhood with a big hill. And no one had fences then. Maybe they don't still, but it was just a non-fence. Kansas City's that way a little bit. And so in the winter, our dads would get out there with toboggans, and they'd make that across all the, like, 3 or 4 different yards. They'd make a path, and we would be out there every day on our toboggans, and they'd start us at the top and they'd swirl us around, and we'd go all the way down that backyard. I mean, more fun.
Wow.
And then we also in the summer played kick the can, because there was no
Yep.
cell phones. No one wore shoes. Nobody knew where their kids were. All the great things you hear about. But that was my
So the good
favorite
old
place.
days.
Yeah, and that's where my daddy
Love it.
was at Offutt Air Force Base, and he made colonel, and we were all just. It was just kind of a neat moment in my life. I was second grade,
Very
maybe.
cool. All right, that was way off topic, but I
It
love
was.
it. I love it. I
Thanks for
love that.
asking.
Cool. All right, let's get back to ICCFA 2024, Tampa, Florida, sunshine, great weather. I remember 2013, absolute great convention hall, packed out,
Mhm.
amazing convention. So, give me some highlights. Like, why should somebody attend this year's convention if maybe they're on the fence right now?
Oh, it's a great question, and for me, and my experience has been twofold. The networking is critical. You don't know you need networking until you realize that I'm stuck with between my 4 walls. I don't often get out and seek input from others. So I get my richest conversation during these breakout sessions. So we have great content,
Hmm.
lots of great speakers. If you got the ICCFA Memento Mori magazine, I always get a hard copy, but we have it online. It'll tell you all the great speakers. So not only am I getting content, I'm getting to know someone. I have the courage to say hello, and then we're listening, and then we compare notes. How do you handle something? We often get stuck in a rut, and we don't disrupt, our
Hmm.
thinking in order to get points of view that are helpful. So to me, the networking, and the second thing is walking that floor. I gain so much by saying, I've never seen you before as a vendor. And I walk up and I get information. And oftentimes you'll find, and maybe you experience this, people buy on the spot, or they're just so curious about that product or that service that I just didn't know about. So again, we get stuck on our rut. And so going to this convention that's in your backyard, perhaps even in Tampa, easy to get to, great location, bring your family, stay on the beach for a little bit. But you also had the opportunity to gain the view of vendors you'd never see, you'd never get to know about because you wouldn't see them. So anyway, so that's to me the two big reasons you go. And it's fun, by the way.
I love it. I can second that. Like I've had some meetings with some funeral professionals in the last few months that don't attend conventions and just don't have a good understanding of the suppliers that exist in this space. And they've had problems and they've asked me about some of these problems. I'm like, well, there's this company and this company and this company. And I'm making introductions for them, but because they don't attend conventions, they miss out on the opportunity to have these connections. And I think you're exactly right. We are built for community. We are built for togetherness. We learned that through COVID that we need other people and we need other professionals that are going through a lot of the same things that we're going through, and they have their own stories and their companies that they've used and where they've found answers. And here's the thing, if you can come to a conference, spend 3 days there and walk away with a problem solved, that was a massive value add to be at that conference. So great point there. Let's talk about education, speakers. I know there's some big name keynotes that are going to be happening. Give me just a couple highlights. I know you can't go down everybody that's going to be presenting, but give me some highlights here. Who do we have coming? And
yeah, so our keynote, we have several keynotes, but on Thursday, first off, the Expo Hall opens Wednesday, April 10th. We have a big opening celebration, and we kind of give you free food and alcohol very often.
That's so right. Lots of food, lots of drink.
Not a bad place to be. We feed you and we get you well with your drinks on. But anyway,
there's libations.
Thank you, libations. But anyway, so our general session on April 11th, I'm looking at it to make sure I get the information right, is Sean Acor. He had the most successful TED Talk with over 16 million views. And this topic is so relevant to me because I speak it, I teach it, and I generally tend to be a happier person. I feel like it fuels my success. But he's leading expert on the connection between happiness and success. And so he is going to open us up with an hour-long session and New York Times bestselling author. So we're excited to have Sean, and it'll be a don't miss moment for sure. We also have moved the closing banquet up to a president's banquet, and we're encouraging everyone to come for that as well. We have Josh Blue, who is an amazing entertainer. You need to kind of look him up. He's a little he kind of makes fun of himself as well because he has challenges, but he is so funny. And it's certainly not a funeral industry moment, but it applies to the happiness side. And he'll be there as well. And so then you've got session after session that either could be around legal matters. It could be around how to be a better embalmer. It really could be as much as how to serve pets better. And so it does run the gamut of everything that we do. Also the cemetery side. So NFGA is a great organization, but they don't cover the cemetery side. So we have lots of great information. One of our newest vendors who'll be there is Still, who makes manufactures big equipment items that we use in our cemeteries. And they hadn't come before. So they're excited to meet those who run our cemeteries as well. So they're invaluable moments to learn more as well. But I would not miss Sean's presentation on Thursday at 2:30 for sure. And the President's Banquet. That's when Lee will come in as president as well.
Awesome. I love it. And the education is so important. There's a lot of things happening in death care right now. The FTC price conversation is huge. And I know Paula Masters will be at ICCFA for sure. And you guys are leading the voice with Paul on in the profession on that conversation. So there's a lot of things happening across death care, whether it's funeral, cemetery, law changes, rule changes, just there's a lot of conversation. Again, being in the community is so valuable to have those conversations at scale.
And what's good about that is so today the Wall Street Journal came out with an article
Mm-hmm.
about the profession and how we handle those who have FTC violations. I've never thought about it as hiding from it. It's a $50,000 fine. It's a moment the FTC is looking into. How do we shore up, in their words, the FTC rule? So there's changes coming. So
Yeah.
you don't want to be behind that. We want to be ahead of it. And one of the things they're most likely going to suggest is that we all put our pricing online. So many funeral homes already have done that. But those are the conversations you're going to get timely, in the moment. And understanding, what do I do if I get a violation? So we do have this NFDA sponsored, fraud program that allows you to do some work to train your staff and those kinds of things that may not be there. So if that is gone and we are really now exposed to the $50,000 and that's it, knowing how to fulfill your obligation with the FTC rule is critical. So we'll definitely have a couple of sessions around that topic, and it'll be timely for sure.
Good. Okay. All right. As we wrap up here, I mean, other than the fact that it's Tampa and absolutely beautiful, especially in April, what is someone's on the fence? Someone calls you and they say, Robbie, I just don't know. Give me one reason that I should be there. What's the one overarching selling point of why they should come?
So I've my whole career said, I don't know it all. And thank God I don't, right? There are others out there. So this is your opportunity to widen your view of the world and really own the fact that there's more to learn, and go and get it. And you get it all in one place. Not only do you get the learning that there is out there, you also get the education on the vendors and what may be new that you were unaware of. So I acknowledge I don't know it all, and come and get it. We're going to give it to you in a 4-day action-packed convention. So come join us. And
awesome. And the dates one more time.
So we are it's April 10th through the 13th, and the expo hall opens on the 10th. That President's Banquet is on the 11th. And so we'll see you there.
Awesome. Robbie, thank you
Yes.
so much for sitting down with me and giving us all things ICCFA Convention and Expo 2024.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Ryan.